Here we are.
Being recorded.
Yeah, it's great. Well, it's good to have you here. Part of the Pulse Speed of Cardio Miracle. So it's great to have you.
I was just telling John how much I love the taste of this, and I got to tell you, I've been doing projects in my yard, John, and I used to get to where I'd know I'd have to get something done, and I'd be like, and I'd try to get boys in the neighborhood to help me. And with Cardio Miracle, I go out, I work in the yard, and my wife was getting after me because she brought me in at 11:30 and said, "You've been out here all morning. Come in, call. You've done enough. Come in today." But I have way more energy than I've had in years.
Well, the energy is one thing, but what I'd like to ask you is the loaded question.
Okay.
How do you feel the next day?
Oh, yeah.
That's the amazing part.
Sherry learned to ski 4 years ago, and she's doing great. And this year, I bought her a brand new pair of Vocal Yummies. And that's a crazy name for a ski. But and I can't believe, she's like, "I can't wait for it to snow." And I'm like, "Who are you?" But the thing we're really excited about is at the beginning of the season, old people like me, we go up there, we take 5, 6, maybe 8 runs and we call it a day. And then, we're sore for 2 or 3 days. So we're really excited about the turnaround and the muscular, fluidity we'll have.
Well, the lymphatic response is so significant from the nitric oxide that people actually, they recover in half the time.
Yeah.
And from strenuous gardening or exertion or whatever, so you can see that I'm a little larger than Lance.
But he's real cuddly.
I'm a lovable sort. But I went to Santorini, Greece, a year ago.
Uh-huh.
And in Santorini, I don't know if you've ever seen where they have the donkeys.
Yeah.
The donkeys climb up the mountain out to the city of Santorini from the cruise ships.
Wow.
Well, you can either take a donkey, which you imagine the donkey looking at me saying,
He's bigger than me.
I don't want to take him. Or you can walk, but there's like
1,000,000 stairs.
3,000 stairs, but they're 5 feet apart.
Wow.
So it's like 1, 2, 3, step, 1, 2, 3, step. And then there's donkey dew all over the steps.
Yeah.
And then there's a tram. But the tram, when they have 5 cruise ships come into the harbor,
jammed.
It takes 2 hours. So I, with Janet, said, I'm going to walk those stairs.
Wow.
It was like a 5-mile hike straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
That's
the equivalent.
A lot of vertical.
A lot of vertical. And I had to stop. But I drank 2 Cardio Miracles on the way up. I probably would have had a heart attack, seriously. Because even if you take Cardio Miracle, it can't fight against nature that much.
Yeah.
That if I went out and tried to run a 5,000 meter run or something, I'd die. I mean, it's just a fact. I'm not in good enough shape to do that. The amazing thing is that you can do stuff about 30-40% beyond what you normally can do, but you recover in half the time. And so even the next day after Santorini, I felt fine.
Wow.
Now during the walk, it was hot and it was stinky and it was long and it was hard, but I paced myself and I did it. And I'm telling you, there's not a lot of people our age that hike up Santorini, up those stairs. So we've seen some amazing things. So I'm glad that you're seeing those benefits. That's awesome.
I am. And my blood pressure is back where it needs to be. I've had all kinds of benefits as far as circulation in all parts of my body. I'll just say that, politely. It's and that's wonderful. I mean, that's the way God intended it to be.
Right.
And my wife and I and Sherry loves it. She's just constantly talking about how she can't believe the difference it's made. We've been on it almost 3 months now. I feel sorry for people that don't have it in their life.
Well, of course, I'm very biased, and I'm a really poor example in a lot of things. I mean, I'm actually playing in a golf tournament tomorrow. I haven't played golf in almost this whole year, for a year, and I live on a golf course in southern Utah and pay exorbitant dues every month. But I'm so busy trying to save the world, Lance. It's really interesting. And I got a very interesting call from a dear friend He's a plastic surgeon. He does cleft palate repairs, one of the best in the world. And he called me and asked me if I'd be a part of his foundation's fundraiser, and I said, of course. But I've had a great relationship with me. He actually did surgery on a skin cancer for me and did an amazing job. But he said, you know, John, I've seen so many patients recover faster with a better wound, smaller wound, no complications, that when I put them on Cardio Miracle for their recovery, he says the healing is spectacular. And that's because of the blood flow. But then he said, but let me tell you my own personal experience. He said, I'm a pediatric plastic surgeon. I deal with adults, but primarily pediatrics. He says, I used to get sick from everybody coming in.
Well, yeah, you get little petri dishes coming in.
Stress, highly intense job, all those things down, they impact your immune system. He said, since I've been on Cardio Miracle the last 2 years, I've had 2 minor colds, and I was over them within a day. He said, that's unheard of in my life. Now, here's a 47, 48-year-old plastic surgeon under intense pressure, intense stress, and he's saying it's given him back several weeks of downtime that he wouldn't have had before. So those are the types of things that I love. This person here, I have not missed a day's work or a day's of important activities in 17 and a half years.
Wow.
Not one.
Well, you're like the Energizer Bunny, man. You go all the time.
Still go all the time, drive a lot. I some nights only get 5 hours sleep for some reason. I wake up at 3 o'clock and my mind's going zzz.
Yeah, I know that
Got
feeling.
a lot of things going on. It's wonderful. And even today, before we met, I met with someone who has got probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in the history of heart technology. He's working on a technology. It's a $20 billion technology.
Wow.
I had lunch today, and we were talking about nitric oxide. And he shared with me his own issues with diabetes. And I said, boy, are you in luck today? I said, the A1C, which is the inflammation marker that diabetics look at, once you're past 5.7, 5.8, you're considered diabetic, pre-diabetic. Then over 6, you're diabetic, and whatever. Most diabetics are in the 7, 8, 9 range, some even higher. We have a Cardio Miracle published study where I said to him, I actually kind of was joking with him. I said, $10,000, I'll have you down under 6 in a year. And he goes, wow, I don't bet, but I'd give almost anything. I said, well, then remember that you'll give almost anything because it's going to happen. The good news is the results we see on diabetic numbers, on blood pressure numbers, triglyceride numbers, the benefits on kidney, the kidney pressure. It's called the GFR. It's like the blood pressure of your kidneys, kidney function. The ejection fraction, which is how much your heart muscle is able to pump. We see incredible results with that. And one thing I would say to these great listeners of yours, you can go on Chat or Grok, any of the AI situations, and you can put in any condition. Hashimoto's, Crohn's disease, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, irritable bowel, macular degeneration, neuropathy. Put in any condition, and then put the name of the condition, and then put in nitric oxide deficiency or vitamin D deficiency. Mm-hmm. Without exception that I have seen, all of them will then come up with how the nitric oxide is dysfunctional or isn't up to norm. All of them will say vitamin D deficiency in over 80% or whatever. That's the magic or miracle of Cardio Miracle. Now, what is a miracle? A miracle is some extraordinary event that we may attach to the divine that we don't have a normal explanation for.
Yeah.
That's why we called it Cardio Miracle, because there was all kinds of things happening that we didn't know, and science over the last 14 years has revealed the scientific basis of truth and science that's always existed invalidating. And so we call it Cardio Miracle. Some people, they think that's kind of cheesy or presumptuous. But the reality
People
is,
are going to criticize you no matter what.
if you're feeling good, I'd say that's pretty miraculous. If I'm still upright, it's miraculous.
I'm a firm believer that if you take something, if you ingest something several different times, and at first say you don't particularly like that, whatever it is, but with Cardio Miracle, I crave it now because my body knows. My body knows it's good.
Good nutrition.
Yeah. And it has, I was thinking about it as I drove up here today. It's amazing how when you give your body everything it needs, I mean, I have 2 cases of Mountain Dew that have been sitting in my garage for 2 months. I'm sorry, I'm a Mountain Dew fiend, and I used to drink 6 or 8 cans a day.
To maintain that high level of energy.
To keep, and if you maybe once in a while even a Monster, and I have not had any caffeine for a month. And
wow, and that's saying something.
And my wife, if people knew my wife, they wouldn't believe it. My son came to dinner Sunday. He was like, "Oh, come on, Mom, you're cheating." And we've quit drinking caffeine because we don't feel the need for it. We don't feel like we need that little bump in the afternoon.
That's really interesting because caffeine actually obviously stimulates and then crashes.
And then crashes, yep.
And one of the other things that caffeine does is it actually depletes the nitric oxide.
Huh, really?
Yes, and so when you take caffeine, that's why we tell people, look, if you're going to drink coffee, and not necessarily the Sunshine Group here, but if you're going to drink coffee, drink it for the taste and the flavor, not for the caffeine.
Yeah.
And we've had people who literally we've had better luck getting people off of coffee than we have off Diet Coke. Diet Coke is like, whatever.
Yeah, well, that's what my wife was Diet Coke.
That's a tough one. But I'll tell you, the fact she's done that, that's amazing because...
Well, yeah, and she did it cold turkey. And if you knew my wife, she's always, I'll take 4 today and 3 tomorrow and 2.5 tonight. And, she's always cutting back, but she never quite, and then she surges back, and now it's just a drop
that's interesting because I remember when I first met her that she mentioned that she had quite the thing for Diet Coke.
Yeah, I mean, she started on Tab when she was maybe 10.
Oh my gosh, that's when my mother was drinking Tab when I was
back
growing
before
up.
Diet Coke was a thing, Tab was around.
Well, one of the things is that there's all kinds of problems with the diet caffeinated drinks.
Yeah.
They dehydrate the microcapillaries in your brain. They actually diminish the oxygen. And so they really have a lot of challenging effects.
Yeah, on
and
mental
so
capacity.
It's really, yes, and I agree. A couple of my dearest friends are absolutely, and they don't accept that they're addicted to it, but they are addicted to it. And you've worked in addiction.
Yeah,
Some people say that Diet Coke or diet caffeine drinks are almost tougher to get off of than some hard drugs.
Well, and we talk about addiction, and when you use that word, people's eyes glaze over, and they but if you talk to people about repetitive behaviors, repetitive negative behaviors, most people will admit to themselves that they have a repetitive behavior that they'd rather not have in their life. Diet Coke, Mountain Dew, caffeine will come in, and I know there's general authorities that got the Diet Coke put back on BYU campus, and that's great.
Once I started into the nitric oxide world, all I had to do was have one of these.
Yeah.
And I was wide awake.
And yet it doesn't
alert,
seem...
and yet no crash, and I wasn't all wired by the time I got to my destination. One of the things that I'd like to share is that with our female listeners, you're the caregiver of your family. You're the health advocate for the buying household. And one of the things that often people don't understand, Lance, is the value of Cardio Miracle. Because the value, when you think of, most of the time you'd be paying $1.50 or $3 for an energy drink that is actually harmful, versus this is about $1.25 to $1.50 on our subscription, which your listeners have been good subscribers, and they're getting a great value. And we haven't had anyone ask for their money back, but we're willing to give them their money back if it doesn't work for them.
Well, I tell everybody that, give it a try for 30 days.
You got nothing to lose.
And if you try this stuff for 30 days, and then you do decide you're going to go off, you will. It won't take more than a week till you'll be like, I got to go back on Cardio Miracle.
It takes usually about 72 hours. Because that's when the nitric oxide kind of works its way out of your system. But just to give you an example, you can take this and you can put it with some sparkling water.
That's what I do, and it is good.
And the sparkling water is great, and with ice, you feel like you're just having any old good soft drink. And then some people add a little dash of half and half or heavy cream.
See, Sherry likes the cream side.
And it turns like a little cream soda kind of thing, like a creamsicle.
Yeah.
Others, you can take it and mix it with apple juice, orange juice, grapefruit juice, prune juice, whatever it is, that any juice you'd like.
I like the flavor.
Oh no, I know, but a lot of people
do want to
take
jazz
an
it up.
acquired taste or jazz, or just want something that is a little different.
Yeah.
In the morning, putting it with a little bit of half and half and some frozen fruit.
Yeah, you get a smoothie
mango,
out of it.
Pineapple, or berries. It's a fabulous smoothie.
It would be a good smoothie.
So those are good things to do. We recommend not putting it with a specific protein powder or protein drink because protein, like caffeine, competes for the nitric oxide efficiency. So it's not going to kill you and it's not going to ruin it, but it's only at about half value if it's competing with caffeine or if it's competing with hard protein for about a half an hour.
Well, see, and I've changed my morning. I have a dose of Cardio Miracle when I get up in the morning, and then about an hour and a half later, I have a protein drink. And
Perfect.
Then
works great.
Before
Carries
lunch.
you till lunch.
Yeah, easily. But it has also helped my food cravings.
It does help cravings. Other than I just sent you over to get donuts at Dunford's. That was a big mistake.
Donuts is right next door.
And I haven't had a Dunford donut for months. And I
got out of the car and I was like, what's the smell?
So I send you over to get donuts, and I eat 2 of them. I shouldn't have done that, but I haven't had a Dunford donut.
Call that dinner.
So, well, that's interesting. So the cravings does have an impact as well.
Yeah.
So you can see from your situation with the alcohol and drug dependency, your mission, president, opportunity. Yeah. That's one of the things. If you go to addictive behavior and you go to the AI and chat, they'll tell you that nitric oxide, vitamin D3, has an impact on reducing cravings that often lead to addiction.
I believe that. I think a lot of people, a lot of addicts are trying to self-medicate because they feel like there's something missing either from their diet or from their
emotional life.
Yeah, their emotional life or even their mental connections. They feel like there's something off, and that drives them to addiction. I mean, we're seeing our mission is seeing great success in the Provo BYU area. It's been a really fulfilling, wonderful mission.
One of the things that's really important is your mental attitude, which I think has a tie to your spiritual acuity.
Definitely.
And so one of the things that Cardio Miracle science teaches is that the vitamin D contained in the Cardio Miracle formula helps boost and deliver the vitamin D to your bloodstream more effective than any amount of capsules.
The happy vitamin.
Or any of the happy vitamin, the sunshine vitamin.
The sunshine vitamin.
And so the vitamin D aspect's really a big deal. And vitamin D is a part of everything. Most people can go off about 75% of their supplements with really almost the only thing most people need is omegas, fish oils or whatever to go along with Cardio Miracle. So for most people, they can save money by not taking things that don't work very well.
Well, yeah, I've gone off 3 supplements. I still take an oil, and I take a multiple because I have about 6 bottles. I was on a subscription.
You hate to waste it.
And I'm like, no, I'm going to keep taking it.
Well, why not? It just has it's a little more expensive urine, which is great.
But that is, when you take a whole handful of supplements in the morning, you see it in your urine for the next 2 or 3 hours. And with Cardio Miracle, you don't see it. You don't see it going down the drain because it's being absorbed into your body.
Pardon us, viewers, but one of the things that I'd like to share, it's interesting, is almost the more Cardio Miracle that you drink, you'll see fat bubbles in your urine.
Really?
If you ever take a look.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting because
I'm one of those people that watches what's coming out.
This helps clean out the liver, and it helps with the kidney function as well. This actually has a dramatic impact on kidney function. And like I was with this very successful business person today, and found out that that he was diabetic, and he'd had a heart issue years before, and he's been looking for answers. And we felt it was really a kind of miraculous that we met. But when I explained to him that the Cardio Miracle, for all intents and purposes, takes the major scary complications of diabetes off the table. Meaning, what do you think about with diabetes? Blindness, amputation of a foot or of a leg. Yeah. We've heard
they
and
just
seen
whittle
that.
away at you.
And then ultimately people have coronary, they have heart attack, stroke, all because the diabetes wears them down through the vascular system. This is the best drink in the world. The best antidote to preventing diabetes and to managing diabetes, I believe, that there is in the world. Now that's saying a lot, but our scientific papers that you can find at cardiomiracle.com/studies have all of those articles talking about all this true scientific testing and validation that Cardio Miracle has acquired over the last 5 years. And when experts see that, and they realize, I've never heard of a supplement
doing this
that has that kind of science behind it specific to the supplement. Now, there are ingredients in supplements that have a lot of scientific validation, but there's not a supplement complex of compound of sorts that has the science of Cardio Miracle anywhere in the world. And that's been a priority of me because I didn't want to have doctors or scientists or health advocates say, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Or there's no way that this could do all those things. And we don't make the claim. We claim, read the science. The science will make the claim. And of course, all the ingredients have passed the highest levels of quality control and scrutiny from the top experts in the world. So
that's why I wanted to talk to you today, John, because I just go with my gut. I'm just one of those, this is how I feel about it. I could be wrong, but I'm never in doubt. And you understand, I've had several people ask me, well, what about this and what about that? And I'm just like, I don't know the science, but you do, and it's refreshing.
Well, the science has been fun, and it's been kind of fun. Yesterday was a great day. My oldest grandson had his missionary farewell.
Oh, good.
He's going to Argentina, and it was really funny because he actually in his talk, which I had no idea, he talked about how a supplement that his grandpa came up with helped him recover from his ACL in a third less time.
Wow.
And the doctor was shocked. So he said that in his talk.
Did you pay him afterwards?
No, I was like, oh my gosh. But afterwards, I ended up having it was someone who is from a local politician, a very successful husband and wife, and the wife said, is there any chance this would help with this particular condition that I have? Because she had gone in and done a scan, and they had said that she had some problems in her carotid arteries.
Oh, wow.
And she had a relative, an ancestor, had strokes and things like that.
Wow.
So it was in her family.
Yeah.
And so she was asking me, and I was telling her that there's actually 3 types of lining of your arteries. It's called the endothelial lining, but there's the dollar store version, there's the Walmart version, and then there's the Williams-Sonoma version. Okay. So you've got the C level, B level, and A level of arteries, the wall of your artery. All of us genetically. Guy like me, I have a C level because my grandfather died of heart disease, my father, my aunts, everyone in our family. So even if you were as fit as you, being a great hang glide instructor, great skier Hall of Fame, if you have a C level, you still could have a stroke, have a heart attack, or whatever. There are places that for $1,000
if
bucks
the
you can
tubes don't
test.
flow.
The tubes don't flow, or if they're compromised.
Yeah.
So I was explaining her that even though she's fit and she works out, because she said, how can I have blocked carotid arteries? And I said, because you have a level C lining in your arteries, and the plaque will stick. I said, are you under stress? She goes, yes.
Politics, yeah.
I said, stress and politics. I said, stress is inflammatory. So you can be as fit as can be, but if you're under a lot of stress and you have substandard lining in your arteries by genetics, you can have a stroke. You can have a heart attack.
Yeah.
All kinds of athletes drop dead all the time.
Yeah.
Because they have genetically inferior or substandard, subpar lining of their artery that happens to collect plaque. That's why you need Cardio Miracle to help keep the pipes clean all the time so nothing can stick. So I was explaining that to her. And then today, with the fellow I was talking to who's diabetic, I said, you're extremely successful, on the verge of a huge deal. It'll be one of the wealthiest people in the state, the country, whatever. And I said, wouldn't you like to take diabetes off the table?
Well, yeah, because money, if you don't have health,
what good is
money if you have no health?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that. So it's really wonderful to be able to share with people that there's actually hope in a glass with real results, or in a bottle,
Well,
and it does other things. There's
so much hype around so many different products. I mean, my wife likes to watch the news, and she has the television on, and there's so many different products being plugged by so many different people that you kind of just shut off to it and you don't believe it. But I'm telling you, this stuff, I mean, our friend Scott Palmer, he's been talking about your product for several years.
3 years.
3 years, yeah. And I've just been like, yeah, okay, Scott, sure. But I had the opportunity to have several different companies wanted me on my little YouTube channel to sponsor their product, and I told all of them, let me try your product. If it works like you say, you must believe in it. So copy me some of it, let me try it.
Sure.
And you did, and I was like, wow. I mean, I'm very intuitive. I felt a difference.
You told me, you said,
almost immediately.
Oh well, and that's because you are intuitive. And the other thing I'd ask you, I mean, how many bones have you broken in your career?
Quite a few. So
just
as an example,
head-on collision.
Look at that leg bone. That's a beauty, isn't it?
So how many broken bones do you think you've had?
I don't know. I've broken them in a lot of places. Is a problem. I've broken my jaw in 14 places.
14 places in your jaw.
I've split my sternum twice. I've broken so many ribs. I was in the Scouts down in Nutty Putty Cave before they closed it, and I was the last one making sure the kids were all right, and I lowered myself down, and the stalagmite hit me and I heard it go snap, snap, and I'd broken my ribs so many times. I knew I'd broken my ribs, but
that is the.
I just finished doing the cave with him, and on the way home.
We're talking like this because you couldn't.
Yeah, on the way home, somebody said something. I said, "Well, we did have an injury," and they're like, "Who got injured?" I said, "I broke 2 ribs," and they're like, "What?" And so, yeah, I mean, and I've broken.
But don't make me laugh.
I've broken both my feet, the talus, the ankle, the tibia. I've broken my tibia and fibula, the tibia 3 times. Anyway, I've never broken an arm. I've messed up my shoulder and broke it. And I've had 2 ruptured discs.
So let me ask you this. Because Cardio Miracle's full of anti-inflammatory benefits, how has your pain levels gone?
Okay, John, I had a standing prescription for pain pills for decades. And I didn't use them all the time. I'd break them in half. Since I started on Cardio Miracle, I have not had a pain pill in a month, maybe more than a month. I've quit my pain in my back. I have a ruptured disc still. I've had one repaired, but
and you're removing a hot tub, for heaven's sakes.
I mean, I've done
you're
concrete
working in your garden.
I've done concrete all my life, flat work, and so I mean, I've done heavy work all my life, and I have arthritic pain that bothers me, and my shoulders, my arms, my hands, my back, my hips. I have great knees for some reason. but I'm blessed with
Praying knees, which is
great
good.
knees. But my ankles, I mean, because I messed up my ankles, they wanted to fuse both my ankles, and I wouldn't let them. And my right ankle is about 70%. It has a few hitches in it, but since I started on Cardio Miracle, I don't feel the pain. I don't feel like I need to take a pain pill to level it out. So I can
enough
keep going.
relief
a
that
huge
you
amount
have
of
been
relief.
able to give up the Percocet.
Yeah. After my head-on car accident, when I busted myself up, I was in bad shape, and they gave me over 1,000 pain pills and shots, and I was addicted. And so I, for a long time, tried to manage my pain when I was younger without any pain pills. But by the time I hit 50, I was really in a lot of pain, but I had to be, as an addict, I had to be very, very careful about how I used my pain pills, and that's why I broke them in half. But I was still doing heavy labor every day and coming home.
And activities. I mean, you're like a never-ending thrill seeker.
Well, and I've kind of slowed down on it a little.
That's amazing. But I'll bet it's got to be really exciting to look forward to the ski season this year.
Oh, I'm like saying, Sherry's stoked. I have a great pair of skis, and I finally got Sherry a great pair, so she's really excited.
Well, it's going to be fun for you to be able to share with people the impact.
Yeah,
you'll see amazing things.
Sundance is putting in new runs. We've got our seasons pass.
All right,
and we're ready to.
Well, that's great. Well, are there any other questions or things that? A lot of people use Cardio Miracle as a meal replacement.
Yeah, I do sometimes.
Because they can do that.
I'll skip lunch and just have an extra Cardio Miracle helping, and I find that I can do just fine. A lot of times when you skip a meal, you feel like this inner drive that you got to have something. John, you've just immersed yourself in this calling. It's like me with my little YouTube channel. You have a much bigger calling than I do with this stuff.
Well, it's been amazing, and I the thing that's interesting is I know the preparation you put into your broadcasts. I mean, I was actually quite surprised, but you really take it so seriously, and I think that's why your listeners enjoy so much the stories you're sharing with them, because the world's a gloomy place. I mean, I listen to you, and then I flip back to Fox or to podcasts, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of darkness. There's so much darkness, and we're really in the.
Satan is raging right now, and I think if we don't stand for truth and be willing to say, no, God knows me, God loves me, and He loves you, and I don't care what the you that you're talking to looks like. I think. That's one thing I loved about my T-shirts is that they, people from all walks of life, could look at it and say,
God loves me. Yes,
God loves me. Ask Him, and then I had a lot of conversations. I have them all the time with people about that. That you can. Well, God will tell you He loves you, but you got to be willing to stand there and tell people that.
Well, I can tell you this as part of the Cardio Miracle, valued member of our Cardio Miracle family. We're so thrilled to be a part of what you're doing and to help contribute to the great effort you're making. You're making the world a better place. You're blessing the lives. We're moving into about a couple of hundred customers now from this great audience. We'd love it to be thousands because we want to help as many people as possible. But we really appreciate those who've taken Lance and Sherry's advice on trying Cardio Miracle. We encourage everyone to try it. You've got absolutely nothing to lose. There's just no risk here.
There's a lot of deceit, though. A lot of people offer a money-back guarantee, but you guys make it simple. You guys, you don't have to have documentation. You don't have to. People can contact you guys and let you know they don't like it, and get their money back. And they don't have to go through all the hassles of validating and sending things back. They can just say, I wasn't happy with it. And yet, less than, 0.2% of the people.
The number's ridiculous. And there are some people who are dishonest in life, but you deal with that every day.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, to the listeners, I think you had a couple of listeners who were interested and they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And they had some financial. Tell us about how we've approached that, because we extend that to people who are truly in need. If you're truly in need, we want to help.
And I appreciate that, John. I didn't know if you wanted me to talk about that. We have started a program for people who are on a fixed income, and they can contact me and talk to me about their situation, and we can arrive at a number that still people need to have some skin in the game. We can help. We're looking at it like a scholarship for people that really need the help.
So the bottom line is you can contact Lance. He's authorized to act on our behalf, do the due diligence, make a recommendation. This person should be able to pay this amount. They can pay this amount. And again, if it doesn't work for them the first 60 days, we'll give them their money back too. We're interested in helping people. I'm just trying to save lives.
Well,
and I'm fortunate that every day, in addition to all the nonsense that I deal with, I get all these wonderful testimonials from people who say, this gave me my life back.
I've had several people that have just can't believe how quickly they've felt the difference.
People actually have a hard time, even though they believe you more than they would believe me, because they've gotten attached to you. The reality is this really will help people. This will help your mom. This will help your grandma. This will help your kids. They'll help your daughter who's stressed out raising a family. It'll help teenagers who are addicted to monster drinks that are burning up their adrenals and their brains by drinking all this crap.
I was at the Apple store, and I was this fellow he was from the other side of the world and spoke beautiful English. He lives with his entire family, including his grandpa. And I was getting my computer fixed and I told him about my podcast, but I told him about Cardio Miracle. And he said, well, I'm going to buy it. And I was like, yeah, people say that to me all the time. And then they never do. And this guy did. And I was like, he's only like 25 years old. I told him, well, it won't really help you. He goes, I'm getting it for my grandpa. And that was 2 months ago, and he's still buying it. It makes a difference.
Well, it was interesting. I was talking to these heart experts today. They said plaque in the arteries starts in your teenage years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And guess why? Caffeine.
I was just going to say.
Caffeine makes the arterial wall irritated, and the LDL cholesterol and fats accumulate to help offset the inflammation. So it starts at a young age. So this would be a great thing. I was actually, to have my 18-year-old grandson who's going on a mission talking about this from the state. I was like, whoa. But, you know, the reality is, if it's true, it's true.
Yeah.
And if it helps people, it helps people. And again, we're in business, we're in commerce, but we try to give more than we get. And that's why we're less substantial.
The product that you're behind is not just a used car that you want to get rid of. It's something that, you know, that is really going to help the people who use it. And there's not a lot of products that can say that.
Well, thanks for for being part of Team Cardio Miracle, helping us save the hearts of mankind.
It's fun to be in an actual studio.
In an actual studio. I have to come back another time, and we won't buy donuts next time.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll just drink
those
Cardio
done
Miracle.
for donuts, man. That's a weakness for my family. Well,
so thanks so much.
Okay.
Appreciate you, brother.